Real Madridistas, let's get a full reaction, but a quick one, to the Real Madrid versus Levante game. Now, that was a much needed win. So it was a good win. Yes, Levante currently sitting 19th. It is what it is. But following a back to back loss, I mean, a final is a final. And whenever you lose an El Clasico, that is a bad loss. All right. It doesn't matter. So I'm not going to downplay the Spanish Super Cup at all. And obviously, being knocked out of the Copa del Rey by a second place division team that is sitting 17th in their division is embarrassing. So that was a win that was needed, and we were home at the Santiago Bernabéu. It would have been really bad, all right, even a draw. And also, we're just a point behind Barcelona. There are a lot of games left to play, obviously. So the race is still very, very long. And who knows? Maybe we might just start to take things seriously with regards to the players because I think they have been very, very nonchalant and lethargic. But we'll see what happens. Now, I think the biggest part of all of this is really the Santiago Bernabéu faithful. I think this was long overdue, right? This team has been taking us for granted for a very long time, and I have done several episodes on the fact that these players felt like they have completed football because they have won Champions League, La Ligas, and things like that. And that was just enough. They have settled. Okay, they have put themselves, at a level they think they are far above every other player right now. And I think that has been the problem. So it is a kind of a mindset, is a mentality problem, in my opinion, right? And we have to be honest. I think that mentality was kind of enhanced by Carlo Ancelotti himself. But let's keep it moving. What the fans did today is listen, you guys have won, obviously, we appreciate it, but this is not the end. We don't like what you guys are doing. We don't appreciate your level of performance. We don't think you're at that level. In fact, we don't think you're worthy enough to wear the Madrid jersey because the fans were super active all game long, booing every one of them. But what was also really very beautiful, right, that actually stood out to me is not just booing them. The fans were also applauding them, especially for Vinny and Jude Bellingham when they had moments of, just brilliant, some good plays. That is to say, it's not personal. We don't have any problems. We're just asking you guys to step up and play better. And I think we deserve that. So, I mean, they can go back and just have that reflection that, listen, yes, we have to play that better. It's not personal. That is just what the fans deserve. So we have to step up, play with that level of commitment, play like, yes, we're wearing the Real Madrid badge and things like that. So for me, that is the really most important thing today. All right, the fans at the Santiago Bernabeu. Now, let me move to Alvaro Abaloa. I said I don't have any expectation for Abaloa right now, and it remains the same. I said it was going to be a game by game basis. For today, I think 4-3-3 was the wrong move. And with this team, I don't think 4-3-3 can work because we don't really have those midfielders, right, that can really exact control in the midfield. Midfielders that can really take control of games and just dictate plays and do that very comfortably. And also, we know they can pass, all right, but to consistently pull off like really good passes, like regularly, it's a problem. All right. So it's not going to work. More so when you have a player like Vinny Jr. and Kylian Mbappe, like they don't really give that level of defensive work rates. So that to me was the wrong move. And that was the same formation against Albacete. And we struggled. All right. So at the end of the day, I don't think Abaloa should continue with that 4-3-3. Then another reason why he shouldn't is because Gonzalo Garcia. When you are playing a 4-3-3, you're forced to select Gonzalo Garcia, but then you're going to play him on the right hand side. I mean, Jaime Alonso was doing the same and it didn't make sense. So why are you doing it, Abaloa? It's not gonna happen. He's a center forward. He can impact the game playing as a center forward. So if you don't want to start him, that is understandable. But putting him in a position where he is not going to play well, and that is just bad. That is, I think, the downside from about today. And plus, you are mismanaging the substitution itself, right? Because you're playing a player who is actually not going to contribute anything whatsoever. Because offensively, Gigi was zero, right? He was involved in a couple of defensive actions, which was good, right? And then he got a yellow card. I think you can tell that was from frustration. So, I mean, forget about the 4-3-3 altogether. I think that was a problem. Now, the good thing is, Alvaro Abaloa moved and fixed it. He made the adjustment right away, but just so bad that he had to sacrifice Gonzalo Garcia. Of course, Camavinga was a perfect substitute. He needed to be substituted. Okay. So, when he did, he went to a 4-2-3-1. And that was just smooth. It was Jude Bellingham and Tchouameni in a double pivot, and the Ada Goulet behind Kylian Mbappe, and Franco Mastantuano on the right hand side, and Vini on the left hand side. Now, we got some flow, some stability, all right, because Ada Goulet was able to get on the ball and distribute passes, and we looked more comfortable. And you can tell Franco Mastantuano, obviously, he's a midfielder slash right winger, and he was playing, better than Gonzalo Garcia was doing as a right winger. So it's no brainer, right? And also, Aragule. I've been saying this. Playing Aragule in that deeper part of the midfield is a problem. He normally takes way too many touches than necessary, right? So playing Aragule behind Kylian Mbappe made absolute sense, and have been calling for that a lot. That is because we know Aragule can thread the needle. He's a very good passer of the ball, right? Plus, also, you are not putting too much defensive responsibility on him, which is not a good thing if you're talking about Aragule and you're playing him further in back in the midfield. So I like the fact that Abaloa really moved him up, all right, for him to get on the ball more and be able to impact the game. And once he started doing that, we were very comfortable. We were very comfortable. So for me, those substitutions were really spot on. Another move was to take out Dinhausen and move Tchouameni into that center back position and brought on Ceballos. Now Ceballos, we all know Real Madrid, we need a controller, right? And that's not to say the other midfielders, shouldn't bear that responsibility to control. And that is the problem with our midfield, right? When you talk about the very qualities that you want to see in midfielders, right? Like our midfield in terms of a unit, they don't really possess that. That is just the truth. So I like that Ceballos came on really earlier. And for me, he looks like the player that is very comfortable, super confident that, he can just go back to the center back, receive passes. I do believe he thinks he's press resistant. And, I'm going to agree with that. He is press resistant to a very good extent. And once he come on, because he is always making himself available for passes. He's always an outlet in that midfield. That is not something you see normally with guys like Tchouameni, Jude Bellingham, even Camavinga, right? So that was a good move. And talking about Tchouameni pushed back as a center back, I have to be honest with this. Tchouameni plays better as a center back than a midfielder. Same thing with Federico Valverde. He plays better as a right back than a midfielder. So if we have two midfielders who we don't feel very comfortable, right, in terms of deploying them in midfield, then this is also part of the reason why we are struggling. Yeah, so I think one of the biggest thing, Alvaro Arbeloa will have to do is to figure out that midfield unit. He should be looking at certain players, and yes, I understand, but maybe you should not be starting in this midfield, right? Just try to change things and see how it works. But anyways, from that point on, we're very comfortable. We went on, got the penalty, got the first goal, and got the second. And with the second, I like the fact that Aragula, said to Vini, no, hold on, right? Because Vini wanted to take a quick corner. And that is the thing. Vinny has to think better, right? If you don't have numbers, why are you rushing to take a quick corner? Corner is a set piece that is an advantage. So someone that is really good at delivering it, right? And then we have, aerial advantage, then you have to take your time, Vinny. So I was really happy, Aragula said, no, hold on. And I think that is the second time, right? Same thing again with I think it was Jabi Alonso, asking him to wait so Rodrigo can put the ball in the box because Rodrigo can deliver really well. Aregule can deliver really well. So let him do that. And he found Raul Asensio and we got the second goal. Now, again, like I said, Levante are currently sitting 19th. I'm not really over the moon, but it was a win that was needed. But also those things that I saw from Alvaro Abaloa, I mean, they're good. They're good because yes, you can make mistakes, but if you can go on and fix them, then we have to applaud him for that. Now, we will see how this team continues to play, and hopefully, they get it together. Because for me, I feel like the biggest part again was the Bernabeu faithful. I think the message was sent. It was loud. It was clear. If those players are really Madrid type players, they will sit up and play with every level of commitment that is needed so this team can actually look like the Real Madrid team we all know. But let me know what you think in the comment section. Until then, peace out.